So she has not faced her old team until tonight. Kim Caldwell got a standing ovation when she entered the building, returning 1 week after giving birth to her first child. Tennessee controls the opening tip.
You see South Carolina in a man-to-man. Now, Tennessee is a team that likes to put up threes, so we'll see how quick can they get and find one.
There's a Spearman underneath the basket that goes out off of South Carolina. Tennessee likes to change their starting lineup. This is going to be the second time they have used this starting lineup. The first time was in a win over Iowa. Boy, Kitts trying to save it off the fingertips of Z Spearman, and that's going to be South Carolina basketball. Now, South Carolina, it's interesting because, yeah, they're starting five. It's a solid starting five, but in this group, you won't see their leading scorer. Their top two scorers come off the bench.
That's the strength of South Carolina. Their bench, their reserves average 42 points a game. That's more than the five starters.
Flagan sends it over to Raven Johnson, and South Carolina will swing it around. Tahina Paopao, the kick out to Bree Hall. Hall in trouble, and she traveled. South Carolina leads the nation in bench points per game. They get 42 points from the bench.
And I think that's a strength that Dawn Staley likes about her team. The five that are on the jump circle from the beginning can get things going. And against most teams, you wear your opponents down. That's not the case with Tennessee because they've got quite a whole bench full of reserves that can play as well.
Talasia Cooper sinks the first bucket, and the Tennessee fans can take a seat as she hits from the elbow.
It's going to be fun to watch because as soon as Tennessee scores the basketball, they find their person one-on-one.
Tahina Paopao too much on the three-point shot, and this will be Tennessee basketball. Well, Kim Caldwell, here it is, the very first photo that we have seen of Connor Scott Caldwell, born 1 week ago today, and he is wrapped in a blanket that the team gave him at the baby shower they threw for her back in October.
He is adorable.
He's
and you know,
beautiful.
We share the same zodiac sign.
Oh my goodness.
Aquarius.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, you mentioned Tennessee, the style of play that Kim Caldwell has brought. You see the bucket there from Ruby Whitehorn. They're third in the nation when it comes to pace of play. How does South Carolina feel about that?
Well, they want to control tempo. You see there, Raven Johnson pushing pace right back. And both coaches were expecting this to be an up and down game.
You mentioned it. Usually South Carolina, they've been able to wear opponents down with their depth, but Tennessee is okay to run up and down the floor.
Well, and Kim Caldwell likes this system because she said with the pressing in the full court, she wants to get her team 20 more shots a game than her opponents.
Ruby Whitehorn rattles around and out into the hands of Tahina Paopao. There's already 5 subs waiting at the table for Tennessee. She will sub hockey style, do a full line change. Bree Hall, all by herself from 3, missed it.
And Tennessee's defense can cause you a problem because they're all about like 6 foot or so they can rotate, they can switch if they need to, they can defend all over the basket, all over the court.
Spencer out to Jillian Hollingshed. Everybody's got the green light to shoot the 3.
Tennessee, you have to be disciplined that you don't get caught up playing their style. You still play the way that you want to play.
If there's a weakness for Tennessee, it's when they've had to defend in the half court.
And rebounding. Rebounding at times, those have been the teams that have given them problems.
5 seconds. Bree Hall takes another 3 and still can't hit. Whitehorn, the stop, the pop, and she's going to the free throw line. 2 shots coming And the substitutions have begun for Tennessee. 5 in, 5 out.
It's funny talking.
Well, 4 in, 4 out.
Okay, one got to stay at the line.
Yep.
But in talking to Eric Trainer, the SID for Tennessee, said when you're subbing in 5 line changes, it keeps the stat crew very busy on the other side because they got to know who's coming in and who's coming out.
Ruby Whitehorn gets the first at the free throw line. Now, why she does this is Kim Caldwell expects her players to play every minute like it is the last minute of a tie ball game.
I get it, because I have watched games and a team hasn't played well for the first 3 quarters and even halfway through the 4th quarter. When they play with that desperation, they take the level of intensity up another level.
Here's the pressure from Tennessee. Boyd on the ball, guarding Raven Johnson. South Carolina started 1 for 4 from the field. Looking to go inside to Sanaya Fagan. The little hook bounces off the iron. Talasia Cooper pushing. Well, Fagan wasn't looking for the basketball.
See, that goes back to Raven gets caught up in playing Tennessee style as opposed to playing the South Carolina way.
Dawn Staley said, again, not afraid to play with pace. It's interesting to see how her team would do against this Tennessee team. Look at the last 4 seasons. That record is unbelievable. 128 and 4. They haven't had more than 2 losses in a season since the 2020-2021 season.
That's pretty incredible. And with the really small number of turnover that she has on her team, when you look at how many players she has and to keep them happy and keep them engaged to play, and I think one of the reasons is she talks to her reserves about, you are the best in the country. You talked about them leading the nation in scoring, and so they feel their value. And so they're ready to play. Doesn't matter who starts the game, but who contributes and really who finishes it.
It's interesting because that's kind of Tennessee's philosophy too. It doesn't really matter who's in the starting lineup because they're going to sub so much.
Yeah, we talked to Kim Caldwell this morning and she said, you know, we just want to kind of keep it balanced. You want a shooter in both 5 groups. You want to have a great ball handler in both 5 groups. But everybody's got the responsibility to play defense and get on the glass.
South Carolina team has dominated the SEC. They've won 54 straight regular season games against conference opponents. That's an SEC record. Billy Kitts rejecting that shot. Raven pushing ahead to Malaysia for Wiley. Right at the rim, but can't finish. And then for Wiley, whistle for the foul. And mass substitutions for Tennessee.
Fresh legs for the Lady Vols to keep going up and down. And I think, too, you extend so much energy on going up and down. I mean, I get it. I would be the first one pulling on my jersey going, I need one.
That's going to be a travel and a turnover. But right now, both teams struggling to find a bucket. They're both 0 for their last 4.
I was interested to see what kind of impact Malaysia Wiley can have when she comes in the game, because she is one of the quickest players in the country, and she likes this pace. She likes to play fast. She talked about the adjustment she had to make from her freshman year to her sophomore year to slow down with the pace of the game. She's used to playing fast, but this is the type of game she should excel in.
The top 2 scorers are now on the floor for South Carolina. There's the top scorer in Joyce Edwards. That is a freshman.
And poise. I love her post patience.
The kick out to Samara Spencer. And swish goes the 3 for the first time for Tennessee.
Count them up. Tennessee makes 11 and a half threes a game.
More than any other team in D1. South Carolina does have the best 3-point percentage defense in the SEC, though. Inside to Kitts. Step back, tough shot off the back of the iron. And look at Joyce Edwards get in there for the basketball. Jump ball, possession arrow, keeps it with the Gamecocks. Well, Tennessee's got a lead on South Carolina, and Connor Scott Caldwell, he better start doing sprints to play with this pace. Welcome to the world, Connor. That was the last meeting between Tennessee and South Carolina. Heartbreak for the Tennessee Lady Volunteers, at the time led by Kelly Harper. They've now lost 7 straight to South Carolina, and that shot from Camila Cardoso, her first career three-pointer, and it saved their undefeated season. They went on to win a national championship.
Dawn Staley said that in the huddle, she called that for Cardoso to take the three. That was the last person I expected.
Speaking of giving birth, I almost gave birth.
You did.
I was about 6 months pregnant. It was so intense watching that game. You know, Tennessee hasn't forgotten that, even with the new head coach and a lot of new faces playing on the floor for the Lady Vols. Sam Spencer, the bucket and the damage.
Sam Spencer was the perfect pickup for Tennessee. She was a player that already knew how to play with pace, transferring in from the University of Arkansas. So her ability to know when to call her own number is perfect. And Kim Caldwell complimented her high basketball IQ.
Completes the three-point play. You know what's interesting is that before this season, no more than 37% of her points came from three. This year, it's 61%. She's shooting the three with a lot more confidence.
Well, she's got the freedom. Not that she didn't have it at Arkansas, but the opportunities, there's more of those now playing in this system at Tennessee.
Tennessee on a 6-0 run. South Carolina just 2 of 9 from the field to start this game. Tessa Johnson overthrowing Joyce Edwards down low. What's Tennessee doing defensively to make it hard on South Carolina?
They're putting pressure on the basketball. You want to take away what the ball sees. And so it's not easy for South Carolina to see how to get the ball inside. You know, one of the things South Carolina loves to do is get those paint points. And Tennessee is making that difficult.
Drew Spear, kick back out to Z Spearman, to Lasia Cooper, no. Ruby Whitehorn thought she had the rebound, but instead it's going to be a foul call. And that's going to be the second against Malaysia for Whitehorn. Well, we just saw a turnover by South Carolina. It's not something you'll see very often. They've been very good in that category, just 12 turnovers per game. That's fewest in the SEC, but they're facing a Tennessee team who's first in the SEC, forcing 24.6 turnovers a game. That's 7th in the nation.
When you look at the style that Kim Caldwell has brought to Tennessee, if any team has Tennessee on their schedule from in October, you need to work on taking care of the basketball. You need to work on your press break. You can't just do that with two-day preparation.
There's Edwards needs some help. South Carolina's got to get it across. They do just in time. And then it's stolen away by Tennessee. Kanaya Boyd. Hooper picked up her dribble. Two-minute scoring drought for South Carolina.
You see, all the Tennessee's players are about the same size. They can guard all over the court.
It's going to be Tennessee basketball. And full subs coming in for Tennessee.
I think the first legs, it's going to be interesting to see how does that affect South Carolina with Tennessee. And you know what that does? Also changing the scouting report. You're used to, okay, I've got to scout these 5 players. We have a whole nother group coming in you've got to adjust to.
She's had over 20 points in 2 of their last 3 games, finding her shot. But on the other side, Joyce Edwards. 4 points now for Edwards to lead South Carolina. Tessa Johnson sees an opening. Tennessee will push the other way.
Love this pace. 5
at the table for Tennessee. Whitehorn shot, I think, blocked by Tessa Johnson.
And Tennessee has a 5-out offense, and part of the mentality is one-on-one. Can you take your player off the bounce? Ruby Whitehorn has been one of the best. This system is perfect for her style of play.
We asked Kim Caldwell about Ruby today, and she said she wanted to get better. And they had to convince her, look, we want you to be a shooter. You need to shoot the basketball. You can dribble 3 times, and then you better be finding a shot.
Well, she's looking for a shot. She's the second leading scorer for Tennessee. The other thing she worked on was that left hand. Now, she can go both directions.
5 new players in for Tennessee. Cooper misses. Kanaya Boyd with the rebound. 4 seconds. Jewel Spear. And it's going to be South Carolina ball. Maddie McDaniel running things, the true freshman for South Carolina. She's number 1 in Garnet. And thank goodness for Joyce Edwards if you're the Gamecocks. 6 points.
I love the decision by Tessa Johnson. She was open for the 3, but instead of forcing the 3, penetrate in and make that extra pass.
George Spear got tackled by her teammate.
But you know what Tennessee's doing right now? They're winning the 50-50 balls. They've got that extra effort to save a possession.
Right now, 8 seconds for Theresa Cooper. Spear missed it, and that's going to be a shot clock violation. Spencer and Whitehorn check in for Tennessee. Do we call that just a casual sub when there's only 2?
I was asking Kim at shoot-around today, is it predetermined? And she said, you kind of have an idea of who you want on the floor and what groups, but foul trouble. That will adjust who she puts in.
Turnover number 4 for South Carolina.
Tennessee plays defense like they're hungry. And you see the pressure here by Whitehorn just forces McDaniels to lose the ball out of bounds.
Again, South Carolina averages 12 turnovers a game. They already have 4 here in the first 10 minutes. Cooper, tough shot. Spearman got the rebound, but travel. She's saying she didn't have possession of the ball. I thought she was still fighting for it.
That was my question mark. I didn't think she had gathered it with 2 hands.
South Carolina moving it around to Pow on the block. Shot clock still on. Cooper too much down the lane. McDaniel's got Pow. Doesn't need her. Tennessee can take the last shot of the opening quarter. It's an 8-0 South Carolina run. They've hit their last 3 shots.
Watching Cooper on the baseline, number 55.
Whitehorn, shot fake. Off the front of the rim, and we got a 1-point ball game after 10 minutes. Tennessee leading South Carolina 14-13 after the first quarter. Just a 1-point game. South Carolina's 5th ranked opponent in a row. They're trying to be the 3rd team in the last 25 seasons to beat 5 ranked teams in a row. For Tennessee, this is their 2nd straight game against a top 10 opponent.
There's never an easy night in the SEC. But in that first half, in the paint, now South Carolina is 6 of 11. Tennessee only 3 of 12. They finish those layups, this could be a whole lot different story.
Tennessee is 1st in the nation in scoring offense. They average 93 points a game. Whitehorn elevating, won't get it to fall. And South Carolina can run. Sanaya Fagan dumps off to Joyce Edwards, but it's going to be an offensive foul against Fagan.
I think that Tessa Johnson gave Sanaya Fagan the basketball in an awkward situation, a post player in traffic, expecting her to handle it. That's tough. That's tough. Defense was back. You've got to read. You've got to know who you're giving the ball to. It would have been better for Johnson to have kept it, go to the side, and then work from there.
Remember, too, in the women's game, the arc on the floor over the basket does not apply to the women's game, so ignore that when it comes to charge or block calls. As Darby thought about the three, over to Ruby Whitehorn. 10 seconds for Tennessee. Swiped away, looking to go inside to Hollingshed, but Joyce Edwards had other plans.
Fagan is working hard inside, just not able to catch that one.
They bounced off her foot. That's 6 turnovers for South Carolina, halfway to their season average. Whitehorn cutting the basket, and the foul against Fagan. 2 shots coming. That's going to be the second against Fagan. Well, Thursday, we've got 2 more great women's basketball matchups for you. Flau'jae Johnson, number 7 LSU, hosting Reagan Beers and number 13 Oklahoma. That's at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. And then on ESPN at 8:30 Eastern, Audie Crooks and Iowa State take on number 11 K-State in the Big 12. It's coming up on Thursday.
When you look at LSU, though, Anissa Morrow. Ooh, I mean, she is like no other player in the league. Her effort to go to the glass, her second jump, I mean, she just, there's a reason she's leading the nation in rebounding.
LSU bouncing back with a win yesterday. They played the South Carolina team on Friday. Couldn't get to Columbia for a Thursday game due to weather.
It'll allow Kim Mulkey to practice her snow angels in Louisiana.
Right. Didn't have that on my bingo card. Tennessee up 16-13 here in the second quarter. There's about 1:30 in. And first foul against Talasia Cooper.
Now, an interesting thing to keep an eye on, though, is the foul trouble. South Carolina, they've got 6 fouls. Tennessee, so far, only has committed 2. That was a problem against Texas. Tennessee getting into early foul trouble. So far, have done a pretty good job.
12 seconds on the shot clock. South Carolina down by 40 here in the second quarter. Patty McDaniel working against Kanaya Boyd and banks it in. And a little shoulder shrug after.
Hey, the freshman was pretty pleased with herself after that one.
Meanwhile, Tennessee 0 for 9 from the field right now. And that's a foul against Raven Johnson.
If you're going to the bucket against Tennessee, you can't go in soft. You've got to go and be intentional. Maddie McDaniels did exactly that and got the finish.
She missed some time, missed 5 games due to a concussion, working her way back from that. Remember, she's a freshman, a McDonald's All-American. Not a surprise.
No, right? But she started the season out so well. She's one of the fastest players with the ball. Dawn Staley has a lot of confidence in the decision making. She's just smooth with the basketball.
Talasia Cooper rejected. It's going to be South Carolina basketball. Tennessee just shooting 22% from the field.
When you're going in the paint against South Carolina, that's tough. And that's another freshman, Joyce Edwards, got the block on that one.
Pass up ahead to McDaniel. Spearman with the rebound. It'll stay with Tennessee. Do you like the shots that Tennessee is taking?
I do like the shots that they're taking. You know, I don't understand this. When you're playing against teams that are shot blockers, though, you get inside. How about a little shot fake? A little shot fake and get yourself to the free throw line.
South Carolina is 4th in the nation in blocks per game. Cooper got it back. Second chance will go. Subs going to the table for Tennessee. Pow waiting to check in for South Carolina. So is for Wiley.
See how Tennessee is clogging the lane.
Edwards looking for something. It gets me every time, just watching her break down what she sees and attacking.
When she gets the basketball, you just have to tell yourself, wait for it, because something spectacular is going to happen.
Ooh, Talisha Cooper, pull up. Edwards with the shot fake, and that'll get her to the free throw line.
We can look at how Talisha Cooper is playing this season. It's really like a freshman season because the 1 year that she was at South Carolina, she didn't play. And she's playing so mature now and playing with such strength. But this is a true freshman. Joyce Edwards, she's picking her poison. She is finding her way to find the paint to be productive for South Carolina.
Dawn Staley has talked about her unmatched work ethic. And now she feels like she's making adjustments faster in game. She is a student of the game, constantly studying basketball. Dawn Staley told us today she has a Leah Boston-like preparation skills, how she watches basketball.
I love the question you asked Dawn. You said, well, does she ask a lot of questions? And Dawn said, she's got a lot of answers. Yeah. I love that. From a freshman that has answers, she's got parents that are engineers, so you know she analyzes everything.
She wants to be an environmental lawyer. Wasn't allowed to play sports unless her grades were good growing up.
I know what that's like. I had a set of parents that thought the same way.
And then you went to Vanderbilt.
Well, there you go.
South Carolina takes over here. In the corner for Wiley. Her last 3 games, she was 1 for 13 from 3, and she gives South Carolina its first lead. Hollingshed pulls it out. Over to Sam Spencer, the deep 3-ball.
South Carolina, if they're patient and they recognize that Tennessee is going to bring 2 to the ball, well, when you are running 2 running behind you, you are playing 3 on 4, and Malaysia Full-Wiley pays it off, knocking down that corner 3.
She's South Carolina's second leading scorer behind Joyce Edwards. Both of those players come off the bench for South Carolina.
It's kind of like when you go to the store.
Oh boy, here we go.
And you know you've got that stash of the $10 bill that you want to forget about, but you always know it's there.
Yeah.
That's what that's what Dawn Staley has with Malaysia and Joyce Edwards coming off the bench.
You just pull that out of your pocket.
Don't you have that little extra $10 there?
No, just back up.
Well, who carries cash anymore?
Malaysia Full-Wiley just gave South Carolina its first lead of the game moments ago. Tennessee's led by as many as 9. Somebody lost a shoe.
Cooper.
Oh, it's Talisha Cooper. Flat tire.
You don't want to make the practice film getting scored on by somebody with 1 shoe on.
Remember when Angel Reese blocked that shot with 1 shoe on?
Oh, yeah, that lived all season.
Asking for a shoe, and Jenna Burdett just threw it to her. And Kim Caldwell's trying to call timeout. It's a 7-0 run as South Carolina has its first lead. Malaysia Full-Wiley's feeling it from deep.
Like that $10 that's in your pocket, Malaysia Full-Wiley. She's been the answer of what South Carolina needs. That 3 right there puts South Carolina ahead.
Back to you, ladies.
Shay, Megan, thank you. Yeah, South Carolina's depth, I mean, they're first in the nation in bench points. 42 points per game is coming off the bench, including their top 2 scorers.
Well, and already in this first half, Full-Wiley and Edwards combined for 15 points. They are 6 of 11 from the floor. How
stepping through the Tennessee defense. It's a 9-0 run, South Carolina.
South Carolina is hunting for mismatches, and when Jillian Hollingshead goes on Tahina Paopao, she puts her head down and goes all the way to the basket for the finish. Late rotations are hurting the Lady Vols.
And Tahina Paopao was just whistled for her first foul. Tennessee brings in Latham Puckett and Jewel Spear.
You know, I would like to look at and talk to the Tennessee coaching staff about the analytics and how they go about who's on the floor together. Because when you don't sub like this, it's easy to look at, but when you go 10 deep, that makes it tough.
Swatted away by Cooper, but into the hands of Tessa Johnson. Hawks looking to extend a 9-0 run. Bree Hall into Edwards. And one coming. You mentioned the substitutions. Tennessee assistant coach Angel Reiser, she is the one that is documenting and handling all the subs on the sideline for Tennessee. She's deciding who's going in, who's coming out.
That's got to be great trust between the head coach and your assistants. Kim Caldwell says, whoever you put on the floor, I'm going to coach them up. And so Reiser has to make the decision of what Tennessee needs on the floor at any given time.
Talasia Cooper was whistled for her second foul. 11-0 run right now for South Carolina. They didn't take their first lead until here in the second quarter. And a travel gives it back to the Gamecocks.
Big reason for this run, though, is Joyce Edwards. The presence that she has had inside.
I mean, she's already almost hit her game average. She's at 11 points. She averages 12 a game.
And what South Carolina needs is that post anchor. That makes everything happen. When you know you've got that go-to inside and make the defense, it's like having a move and a counter move. The first move is to look inside. When they take that away, that opens up everything else.
Well, I feel like on their 3 national championship teams, they have had post anchors, starting with Angel Wilson.
Angel Wilson, then you have Aaliyah Boston. Yeah. Joyce Edwards is, and Dawn Staley, listen to this, with the talent she's had, she said Joyce Edwards might be the best post player or best player. You know, she talked about her work ethic and said that was similar to what she had with Tiffany Mitchell. We know how hard she worked.
Yes. Scoring drought continues for Tennessee. Almost 4 minutes without points.
And South Carolina's got to recognize when there's a double team chasing the ball, somebody's got to flash to the middle.
Out in the corner. Cold corner pocket. 8 points for Paopao. It's a 14-0 run.
We got a sneaker loose with Joyce Edwards right now.
With the shoes coming off? She's holding it in her hand.
She tried to pull the Angel Reese with the block while she was holding.
And so she's going to be whistled for the foul. That's her first. Everybody take a moment. Lace up your sneakers a little bit tighter. I mean, this is a track meet.
Ran right out of her shoe.
Yeah. Moments ago, we saw, was it Ruby Whitehorn? No, Talasia Cooper.
No, it was Talasia Cooper lost her shoe.
Lost her shoe. There's Jillian Hollingshead at the free throw line. This is the first. Our SEC ACC Super Tuesday doubleheader on ESPN. Number 12 Kentucky taking on number 8 Tennessee, a border rivalry here in Knoxville. It's at 7 Eastern, and then North Carolina and Pitt. We'll open up tomorrow. South Carolina takes a timeout. They're on a 14-1 run. We step aside for 30 seconds.
The bench, and Joyce Edwards, she has 11. Malaysia Fulwiley, she has 6. The 2 threes that she hit in the corner helped South Carolina to extend this lead.
South Carolina has found their rhythm. They took their first lead here in the second quarter after Tennessee had a 9-point lead in the first quarter. That's Johnson elevating at the SEC logo, and the run continues 16-1. Only team in Division I where the bench outscores the starters.
South Carolina's bench outscores about 95 Division I starters in the NCAA. That's crazy.
Yes, it is. Double dribble.
The thing that South Carolina cannot do is get complacent because of Tennessee's ability to get hot from the three-point line, can get themselves back into this game and get their press started, start creating turnovers. So you cannot rest on your laurels when you're playing Tennessee.
If you're Tennessee right now, where do you go? They haven't had a field goal in almost 5.5 minutes.
Well, right where the ball is right now. Tyler Cooper just have not been able to finish with a consistency in the paint.
Short corner, Tessa Johnson, rebound by Kitts, and the foul on the floor on Z Spearman. That's her third.
Oh, that's going to be big. Because Spearman, probably the tallest player on this Tennessee roster, can really help them on the glass. Doesn't help to have her take a seat.
Yeah, she's their leading rebounder. She's their leader when it comes to field goal percentage. She's 9th in the SEC in offensive rebounds per game.
Ooh, there's a lot of contact up top.
Kitts shakes it off, though, and drops the bucket in. Chloe Kitts has worked on her strength, and it helped her there.
This is a player that even lifts weights on game day.
Got a pro mentality. Cooper answers with a 3.
And it looked like she showed the three-point selling to Dawn Staley.
Takeaway for Tennessee. Up to Coop.
Just talked about no lead is comfortable when you're playing the Lady Vols.
Tessa Johnson blocked. Sam Spencer with a chance, a heave. And a little run for Tennessee, a 5-0 run to end the half, but South Carolina up 35-26. Back to the studio we go with Shay and Megan.
Thank you, ladies. Yes, welcome back into the halftime report. Shay Cornett, Megan McEwen here.
And execute their stuff a little better in the half court.
South Carolina cannot relax as we start the second quarter. This is a Tennessee team who leads the nation in threes per game. They average 11. Now, they've only hit 2, but they can get into a ball game, back in a ball game real quick. Remember, they trailed Oklahoma by 19 points. Only lost that game by a point.
Well, I think that's 2 things. Tennessee turns up and teams relax. You cannot relax against Tennessee.
There's going to be a foul away from the basketball, and this is going to go against Ruby Whitehorn of Tennessee, her first. So 21 seconds on the shot clock. Raven Johnson will inbound for South Carolina. Gamecocks shooting 50% from the field.
They're doing a nice job. South Carolina is when they do get the ball inside, they're finishing. They were 10 of 20 in that first half.
Sanaya Fagan just outside the paint. Raven Johnson gets the rebound. She is their best rebounding guard.
Dawn Staley, the biggest compliment you can give to a player is you're a winner, and that's what Dawn Staley says about Raven Johnson.
What does that mean?
That means that she competes every play. She's locked in. She is all about the positive and helping her team do whatever necessary.
Chloe gets through a triple team. Is going to the free throw line.
Weight room has paid off for Chloe
Yes,
Kitts.
it has. That was a focus in the offseason.
Bodied by Benetti.
Molly Benetti, their strength coach.
Gathered herself and went up off 2 feet to get the finish.
Chloe Kitts told us, I was watching film of myself last year, and I spent a lot of time on the ground falling down. And that's because I wasn't strong enough, so she's changed that. That was the second against Ruby Whitehorn. Both of those coming here in the opening minute of the third quarter.
Malaysia Cooper has had 17 shot attempts in the first half.
Jump ball, it'll stay with Tennessee. Latham and Darby check in for Tennessee. Talasia Cooper leading the Lady Vols right now with 11 points. She is their leading scorer on the season, averaging 18 a game.
And one of the things I thought, Tess Darby on the floor could open up the offense for Tennessee, number 21 in white.
Spencer gives it to her. She's got no room to get the shot off because Pow Pow is right there. Samara Spencer at the elbow, no. Jillian Hollingshed with the follow.
Fagan didn't need that dribble inside.
Tough turnover by South Carolina. Pow Pow gets it back. Chloe Kitts thought about it. Instead, let's Raven take the three. No. Offensive board, Bree Hall.
One of the things Dawn Staley talks about in the LSU game is that game rebound and how important it was for the guards to get on the glass. Bree Hall just did it.
Long two from Tahina Pow Pow. That puts her in double figures.
Tess Darby eyed it. She realized she was back at the E instead of the T in Tennessee.
Whitehorn stepping into the three. Tess Darby, no. Tennessee just 2 for 14 from three-point range. They're first in the nation, averaging 11 made threes a game. It's wide open, towing the line. Drop down, Chloe Kitts from three. Her second three of the season. She's got 8 points. Hollingshed driving in, and she's fouled by Sanaya Fagan. That'll be her third.
South Carolina is going against the gap defense of Tennessee, and Pow Pow attracted to that caused Hollingshed to take a bite into the paint, left Chloe Kitts wide open for the three.
What distinguishes a gap defense?
Well, a gap defense is if you get beat, the ball handler beats you, then the defense of another player, the closest to, is going to stunt in and close that gap, take away the driving gap. And a lot of times that is to force you to make outside shots. But South Carolina's got players that can make them.
There's Hollingshed at the free throw line. Tennessee had a 9-point lead in the first quarter. But in the second quarter, went 6 minutes and 12 seconds without a field goal, and South Carolina was able to take their first lead and take a 9-point lead into the locker room at halftime.
Well, and the spark is back on the floor, and that's Joyce Edwards, number 8 for South Carolina. That was close.
That's the third on Talijah Cooper.
Cooper called for the foul. Bailed out Malaysia Fulwiley. That could have been a travel.
So Talijah Cooper, Tennessee's leading scorer, has to take a seat with 3 fouls. We're not even halfway through the third quarter.
Well, and Cooper, not only is she the leading scorer, leading in steals, leading in block shots.
It's going to be Tennessee basketball. They get the foul against Malaysia Fulwiley, her third.
Boy, with the pressure, Fulwiley loses her footing and then causes the foul, reaching for the basketball. And after that turnover, Fulwiley looked over at Dawn Staley, and Dawn just gave the motion of stay in there. She's going to let this sophomore work through some things.
You know, for Tennessee, Jewel Spear hasn't had any points today. She averages 13 a game. She's one of their top 3-point shooters.
Against Texas, she wasn't really a factor on the offensive side as well.
Texas was just her second game all season without a 3-pointer. There's Spear.
Well, having Bree Hall on her, that can make for a long night.
That has become a scary thing if you're an opponent, to be guarded by Bree Hall. She's had the toughest assignments in their last few games. No chance for Tennessee to get a shot off.
The defense we were talking about with Bree Hall, about 4 or 5 games ago, her minutes were kind of down. They picked up as of late, and Dawn Staley asked her, do you know why your minutes were down? And she kind of gave her a look, and Dawn said, well, you play the defense the way you did against Madison Booker at Texas and Flajay Johnson against LSU, you'll get those minutes.
You think she translates to the next level?
Oh, I think she does. She's long. She's a 3-and-D type player. She can knock down the 3-point shot. She's got terrific length, and she loves to play defense.
Fulwiley is now 3 for 3 from 3-point range. She came into the game 1 for 13.
And that's why Dawn Staley left Fulwiley in the game. Let the sophomore work through some things.
Offensive foul, that's her 4th.
Well, she looked at Dawn, and Dawn looked at her and was like, it's okay. She wants her. This experience is good for number 12 in the South Carolina Maroon.
What's the next step for her?
She's got to learn to play with the pace of the game and to stay under control. One of the things that Dawn challenged her with this season is to play how she plays between the wow moments. She wants a wow moment every time she touches it. I'm for it.
I'm not against seeing it. Tennessee 3 minutes without a field goal. Latham the spin, the kick out. Darby gets open for the 3. Put back by Alyssa Latham, who got her 3rd start of the season tonight. Darby creating some space. And it'll be South Carolina basketball. Kim's father, Scott Stevens. And 1 week later, Kim, who had the flu when she gave birth last Monday, is back on the sidelines coaching Tennessee. She always said she was going to return when she was ready, and she felt ready to go.
And she only missed 1 game. That was the Texas game, and Tyler Summit tweeted about it. She said, well, it's a good thing that she stayed home, unlike Pat Summit, who decided to go on a recruiting trip and went into labor when she was in the home of Michelle Marciniak. And when she was flying home, the pilots were trying to encourage her to land in Virginia, and Pat said, no way. She had lost to Virginia in the Final Four. She said, we are getting to Tennessee. She was going to have that baby on Tennessee land, and she did exactly that.
Congratulations to Kim Caldwell. Her husband, Justin, who is on the men's basketball staff here at Tennessee, on beautiful baby Connor Scott. We're getting to see the first photos of him tonight. D. Spearman fouled on the three-point. It's Elmar Siniak, eventually known as Spinderella, who is sitting in the front row today watching this basketball game.
Well, Michelle actually went to Notre Dame first, but then eventually transferred to come to Tennessee and play for Pat. So it all paid off.
Yes, full circle.
Won her national championship, 1996.
Wore the number 3.
She did.
I remember watching her.
And had the bangs you cannot forget.
Yes. Latham her first. How do you think South Carolina has adapted to the pressure that Tennessee brings?
I think that they have had, for the most part, tremendous composure and recognizing when two are on the ball, you've got to have that release valve, and you've got to make yourself available to the ball handler, and they've done that.
Tessa Johnson with 2 free throws coming. She was named the Final Four All-Tournament team last year. She averaged 10 points per game in the tournament. Shot 59% in the Final Four in the championship game last year from the field.
And she has been Miss Consistency this year. And Dawn Staley has great trust in number 5. She brings it defensively. She's money from the three-point line. She just does the little things for South Carolina. Fagan doesn't have a point yet, has yet to score, but doing so many other good things for the Gamecocks.
Raven Johnson will take the 3. 6 threes tonight for South Carolina. Cooper's on the floor with 3 fouls right now for Tennessee. She's got 11 points. Jewel Spear looking for her first bucket. 0 for 4.
And Raven Johnson, you find the money spot in the corner. If you stay locked in the corner when penetration comes to the middle and the defense helps in or steps into that gap, shooter's got to catch it. You got to be ready so you don't have to get ready to knock down that 3.
Maddie McDaniel will check in for South Carolina. Sam Spencer looking for the foul call. McDaniel did a nice job of staying straight up in her defense.
Well, not only McDaniel staying just one-on-one, but not over-helping so that you can open up three-point shooters for Tennessee.
This will be Tennessee basketball. Second foul against Joyce Edwards. It's been offensive struggles for Tennessee tonight. Just 21% from the field. This is a team that averages 93 points per game. They're at 34 points right now in the third quarter.
Well, and they're only 2 of 20 from the three-point line. This is a team that makes 11.5 threes a game.
D. Spearman drops in the first.
It's interesting talking to coaches when they face South Carolina. You can try to prepare for it, but it's hard to emulate it in practice until you feel it. And the length that they have really at 4 of the 5 positions has been really tough on Tennessee.
2 more great women's basketball matchups for you. Flau'jae Johnson and LSU hosting Reagan Beers and Oklahoma. That's at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Over on ESPN at 8:30, it's Iowa State and K-State. A little battle in the Big 12 coming up on Thursday night.
In the SEC, Oklahoma's another one of those teams that likes to shoot the three, but going against a very stingy defense of LSU.
Now, Oklahoma are a team that returned all 5 starters from last year, including the co-Big 12 Player of the Year and Skylar Vann. And then they added Reagan Beers, a post presence.
The SEC got a whole lot tougher when Texas and Oklahoma came into the league.
Latham puts too much on the 3. Kanaya Boy got it back. Seconds here for Spencer.
Tessa Johnson again defensively. A lot of people talk about her three-point shooting, but defensively she just seems to always be in the right spot.
Joyce Edwards demanding the basketball, but turned it over. Spencer's season opening. Shooting struggles continue. Tennessee 2 for 22 from behind the arc.
Tennessee needs more of that. And watching Tennessee, that's one of the things that I have seen. When you decide to go to the rim, if you continue and don't give up on it, more times than not, you get some opportunities.
Spearman able to finish. Joyce Edwards high up off the window. That gives her 14.
Tennessee's got 4 more at the table to check in.
Turnover. South Carolina with its largest lead of the night at 18. Tennessee led by 9 in the first quarter. South Carolina figured things out in the second quarter.
What South Carolina has done is they have taken control of the pace of this game.
Tennessee wants to go fast. They're third in the nation in pace. Got 2 here with the clock winding down. No bucket. They will check it at the monitor. But originally waved off the bucket by Ruby Whitehorn.
The floor is no basket. The play is under review.
And not off in time, as you can see from Ruby Whitehorn. Well, Tennessee, the leading scoring team in the nation. Hard to do that against the South Carolina team. It's a Tennessee team that averages 93 points per game. They only have 39 tonight.
Well, they've done a good job of getting to the offensive boards. They have 15, but they've only turned that into 6 points.
That's the first time that Mylasia Fulwiley has missed from 3. She was 3 for 3. So here's their season numbers against what they've done tonight. They average about 11.5 threes per game, but only been able to make 2.
And I think the defense of Tennessee, of South Carolina, has had everything to do with that.
Denia Fagan, her first points tonight. And she's a player that has stepped up when they lost Ashlyn Watkins to the ACL tear for the season against Mississippi State. They were looking for some post players to kind of fill the void because Ashlyn Watkins, I mean, she just made opponents think a little extra about taking a shot down low.
Oh, being the shot blocker that Watkins was. But Fagan has been patient, playing behind some tremendous post players, and didn't just take it easy. Wasn't just on vacation because she wasn't playing, but preparing herself and learning all that she could so she could be ready to step up when Watkins went down.
Chloe Kinsley, the break. Kitts has 10. And 2 shots coming for Sam Spencer.
And Kitts is a post player, a versatile one, but the ability to rebound it and go and handle it with speed to get the finish, whew, that's a great element to have in your lineup.
There's Ashlyn Watkins. Hasn't had ACL surgery yet, still doing the prehab portion of this comeback. She was over actually where we're sitting at shoot-around today, grabbed the microphone and started doing play-by-play for the Gamecock shoot-around today.
She was handling the mic pretty well.
I better watch out.
Yeah, right?
There's been a lot of talk about the growth of the South Carolina team since their only loss of the season to UCLA. What's changed in your eyes when you watch South Carolina from that game against UCLA that they lost to the 14 wins since then?
I think that coming into the season, you can rest on your laurels a little bit. You're coming off a national championship, and I think that loss to UCLA, Dawn Staley said at times when the team is not practicing to the level that she wants them to, she just has to say you, not even UCLA, to remind her team, look, you have to come in locked in every single day to make it a habit if you want to repeat as champions.
And she's talked about them being chameleons. They can win in different ways. Another transition bucket here for Tennessee.
We talked about it. You cannot rest when you are playing Tennessee. You cannot figure the game is over with a little less than 8 minutes left to go in this fourth quarter.
It's a 6-0 run for the Lady Vols. They've got 5 subs waiting at the table. Kitts trying to step around Spencer. No foul call.
And Tennessee can get back in this quick. You take unadvised three-pointers, and quickly Tennessee can head the other direction. Start putting points on the board.
Now resetting. South Carolina trying to end the 6-0 run for Tennessee. Riley has had her bucket picked. 4 seconds. For Riley around to Lasia Cooper.
That's what Dawn Staley wants from Full Wiley, not to just settle for the three. Her percentages are down this year from the three-point line, so when the lane is there, Staley wants Full Wiley to take it.
She'll look for the transition three. Boyd gets around Dowda. Five subs waiting at the table for Tennessee.
Before the 4-minute mark, if Tennessee can get this to 10 or less, can breathe life back in to the arena.
Tennessee wants to go. Now they'll set it up in the half court. Boyd sees an opening, hits it.
How long will Dawn Staley go or let her team figure it out? 13th timeout to stop this run by the Lady Vols.
She's got 2 subs at the table. A 10-2 run. Tennessee has outscored South Carolina 10-6 here in the 4th quarter.
Less than 6 minutes are left, and Tennessee, in a blink of an eye, can get themselves back in this game, continuing to attack. The Lady Vols are not going to go away.
Honey, I don't think this
Principal. Pat Summitt, 16 SEC regular season titles, 8 Conference Coach of the Year. Dawn Staley has won 8 regular season titles in the SEC and has been the Coach of the Year 7 times over her 17 seasons at South Carolina.
And what Pat accomplished and built this program in the 38 years that she coached for the Lady Vols. Dawn Staley, she's building her own legacy at South Carolina.
Right now, Tennessee with a bit of a run. Before the timeout, 10-2 over the last 3 minutes.
Well, Tennessee has scored on 4 of their last 5 field goals.
Castorbi the way in. Seconds. Joyce Edwards. Pretty.
Patient and poised.
18 points for Joyce Edwards. For Tennessee. Ruby Whitehorn trying to create space. And too much from Bree Hall.
Well, this is go time for the Lady Vols. As they turn up on the offensive end, South Carolina's got to lock in.
What's been better about Tennessee's offense?
Well, I think that they've gone to score quick. They've been able to score off steals from South Carolina. They got a 5-second call right there, and also off missed shots by South Carolina. Tennessee has gotten in transition.
Tennessee starting to figure things out. They've outscored South Carolina 14-10 here in the 4th quarter. But the Gamecocks not going away. The swish from Edwards.
Vols have done this without attempting a 3. Just with the 2s chipping away.
And their leading scorer, Talasia Cooper, took her last shot at the 4:03 mark in the 3rd quarter. Now, still a lot of work to do. And that's the first point, the first bucket of the night for Jules Spear.
But again, Tennessee doing it by chipping away with the 2s instead of settling for the 3-point shot.
What do you do if you're South Carolina?
South Carolina, you want to use the clock. You want to execute your sets.
Cooper up ahead to Spearman. Free throws on the way for Z Spearman.
And the other thing that South Carolina's got to do is get back transition defense. On missed shots, you need to have somebody back because Tennessee is off to the races. These are big free throws right here.
South Carolina, 14 straight double-digit wins. That's the most since the 98-99 season when Tennessee had 20. She had the shot fake, too.
Spearman was going to line that, or Jill Spear was going to line that up.
She thought about it. Z Spearman will. Tennessee is continuing its struggles from three-point range. They're 0 for its last 13. They've only hit 2 tonight. They average 11.
Yeah, they're 2 of 24. Nobody's got Fagan at the other end of the court. Spencer's going to find her.
I think Spearman just went out. I don't think she can come back in.
Those multiple line changes for Tennessee, it can get everybody confused.
She's got to wait to check back in because she just checked out. I'm glad I don't have to keep full track of this. Should have been here when Oklahoma was also going 5 subs at a time.
It was so fun to watch on TV.
Hail Mary, right down to Raven.
Kind of like Patrick Mahomes we watched last night. He's such a headsy point guard, Raven Johnson, 25, to understand clock management is the priority right now.
And it's been so fun to see her grow into that over her time at South Carolina. Fagan rejected. Whitehorn. She has 10.
Now Tennessee can string back-to-back stops. They could be right in this thing.
They've trailed by as many as 22 today. Tennessee's led by as many as 9. South Carolina didn't take its first lead until the second quarter. They've been in control since then. Tennessee pushing. Oh, Jill Spear was waiting in the corner. Sam Spencer too much on the lay-in.
Tennessee's got to think about scoring now. They want to lengthen this game. They have 2 fouls to give.
South Carolina will take a timeout. First time it's been a single-digit lead for the Gamecocks since they were up 9 at the half.
Tennessee off missed shots, terrific defense, and then quickly down the other end, attacking the paint, getting a bite of the orange to chip away at this South Carolina lead.
Tennessee has outscored South Carolina 21-12 here in the fourth quarter.
And Tennessee wants to start putting South Carolina at the line. They have 2 more fouls to give before South Carolina's in the bonus.
Tennessee's got 3 timeouts. South Carolina will have 1 remaining. Remember, not under a minute to play, so South Carolina could not advance the ball with that timeout.
You've got to pressure, you've got to foul.
Yeah, Tennessee down 9, under a minute to play now. Well, now just 8 seconds on the shot clock. Tennessee's got it. They got to go. Tipped out of bounds by Raven Johnson. 34.2 left in the game. Tennessee's going to make some substitutions. So Ruby Whitehorn checks back in. Jules Spear checks back in. And Tennessee will take a timeout. Let's take a look now at our Capital One rewarding performance. It's the freshman, South Carolina's leading scorer, leading them tonight. 18 points, 5 rebounds.
And been so efficient. Joyce Edwards is 8 of 13 from the floor. Even with the hectic pace of this game, the aggressive intensity of the defense of Tennessee, Joyce Edwards has been able to get it done for the Gamecocks. Even calm, cool, and collected as the shot clock is running down.
So now South Carolina with a 9-point lead, 34.2 on the clock. It's Tennessee's basketball. They need 9 points. Where do you start?
Well, I think that they've got to take the first available shot. A 3 would be good, but I think you can get that by attacking the basket. If nobody stops you, get the quick 2, and then I think Tennessee's got to look at starting to foul.
They have 2 fouls to give before South Carolina goes to the bonus.
And now South Carolina also has 2 fouls to give, so they can, when the ball comes in, if Tennessee takes time, they can wait a little while, then foul, make Tennessee inbound the ball again. And South Carolina, they only have 1 timeout remaining.
Tough shot. This one will stay with Tennessee. .8 on the clock. Talaysia Cooper, no. Tennessee's got to shoot. Joel Spear hits just the 3rd 3 of the night for Tennessee. Dawn Staley calls timeout, her final one. She can't advance the ball and will.
Tennessee does what they do in getting to the offensive glass, creating those extra possessions. With the penetrate and kick to the 3 for Spear. That makes this a 6-point ball game.
If you're Tennessee, you got to foul immediately, right? You have 2 fouls to give.
Absolutely you do. The most important thing that Tennessee has got to do is try to get a 5-second call first, but if South Carolina gets the ball in, then you've got to foul right away. South Carolina's got to understand Tennessee's coming with everything. They're bringing the house.
South Carolina will have no timeouts remaining. Tennessee does have 2. Lady Vols are on a 12-2 run. They trailed by as many as 22. But down 6 here with 14 seconds to play. Their 4 losses on the season have come by a combined total of 8 points. They have been in close ball games with tough competition. And we see that again here tonight.
And I think the start of the game, it was Tennessee's pace. They kind of got out of sync. They settled for 3-pointers. Those weren't falling. They got back on track in this 4th quarter, and they turned up their defense to put themselves just down 6.
Inbound to Fagan, and Tennessee will foul immediately. Still 1 foul to give. That's the 4th on Talaysia Cooper. 12.8 showing on the clock.
But even with Tennessee putting South Carolina, they're able to foul to the free throw line. All of the players that South Carolina has on the floor right now, they're good free throw shooters.
So South Carolina spreads it out now. Joyce Edwards is going to be the inbounder. They put a player in every corner of the court.
They worked on this in shoot around.
into Pow. Tennessee's got a foul. That's their last foul to give.
And Pow is a 73%. She's not going to the line yet. Now on the next foul.
Yeah, the next foul, South Carolina will shoot 2. 10.9 on the clock.
Seeing South Carolina spreading out the defense, giving your players more of an option to cut to the ball.
So now 2 free throws coming.
Raven Johnson shoots 70% from the free throw line.
That was on Latham, her 3rd.
South Carolina has only shot 10 free throws tonight.
Oh, they have 5 of them. Puckett, Derby, and Spear back in for Tennessee.
But Tennessee still has 2 timeouts.
So you take one here and advance it?
Oh, yeah.
Timeout, Tennessee.
10.3. Tennessee will have 1 timeout remaining. They'll advance the basketball. Down 7.
Now, I think Tennessee's got to look for 3. South Carolina has to be disciplined and understand a 2 really can't hurt you. If you have to give up a layup, give it up. Dawn Staley's got to talk about the press break and how she wants to get the ball in bounds, understanding that once the ball does get inbounds, if you're getting it inbounds, Tennessee's going to foul right away.
South Carolina took control of this game in the second quarter when Tennessee went 6 minutes and 12 seconds without a field goal. But Tennessee has surged here in the 4th quarter, outscoring the Gamecocks 24-13.
South Carolina still has 2 fouls to give.
They got to shoot a 3 right now.
Ooh, that was close from Pow. That could have been fouling a 3-point shooter. That was risky.
So this will be South Carolina ball. 4 seconds on the clock. Tennessee does not make it easy on you. And South Carolina, we saw it in the second quarter. Things started to click. They settled into this game.
And as I'm sitting here, as this game is coming to an end, I'm thinking about how spicy and competitive the SEC tournament is going to be. These 2 teams won't play again until they could possibly meet in Greenville.
The streak continues for South Carolina in the SEC. 55 straight regular season wins against SEC opponents. It's a conference record. They get it done on the road, 70-63 over Tennessee.